Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will study how to draw the histological section of esophagus. Esophagus, as you know, is the muscular tube which connects the pharynx to the stomach, and this is the part of GI tract. Now, as you know, the GI tract has got a wall which consists of 4 layers: mucosa, from here to here mucosa, then the submucosa, muscularis externa, and then adventitia or serosa. So the wall of the esophagus, again it contains the 4 elements, that is the mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa and serosa. Now the layers of how to draw it. First of all, the mucosa, it consists of epithelium. Here you can see the epithelium, lamina propria, which contains connective tissue, blood vessels, lymphatic tissue, and then the layer of muscularis mucosae, layer of smooth muscle which is known as muscularis mucosae. Then the submucosa, in which the esophagus, the submucosa contains esophageal mucus glands. You can see here the mucus acini with peripheral flat nuclei, and the dense connective tissue and blood vessels and some of the adipose tissue. Then next layer is the layer of muscles. It consists of 2 layers arranged in 2 layers. Inner is the circular layer. You can see the circular layer, and outer is the longitudinal layer. Now this section shows skeletal muscles. Here you can see the peripheral nuclei on cut section. You can see the peripheral nuclei on cut section, and here in the circular section you can also visualize the peripheral nuclei and long cylindrical muscle cells. So this is the layer of muscularis externa, which consists of inner circular and outer longitudinal layer, and in between you can see the connective tissue which is lying in between. And then last layer is the adventitia, which also consists of connective tissue, the blood vessels which are going inside the wall of the esophagus, and the adipose tissue. So there are 4 layers of the wall of the esophagus. Number 1 is the mucosa, number 2 is the submucosa, number 3 is muscularis externa, and then adventitia in most of its part. Now we will draw the histological section, and for this we will draw, first of all, always draw an outline so that you can easily draw the rest of the diagram. And please try to make the diagram smaller one so that you can complete it in time during the written paper as well as in the practical exam. So I have drawn now the outline of the epithelium, which I have to draw, and then the muscularis mucosae. So this limit will show the limit of the mucosa. So muscularis mucosae, as I have told you, it consists of smooth muscles, longitudinal layer of smooth muscles. So this we will draw the cross section in various diameters. You know that the smooth muscles are fusiform in shape. That's why when we cut it, when we have a cut section of it, they appear of various diameter. So that is how you will draw the, now this is the mucosa. Now we will draw the layer of the muscularis externa here, the extent of the muscularis externa. Okay, I will draw the smooth muscles here, lower part of the esophagus. Okay, so this is how you will draw the smooth muscles. Draw them very lightly and just a line. Then afterwards make it fusiform. Don't make smooth muscles like eyes or like that, eyes or fishes or boats. Smooth muscles are not like that. Smooth muscles are fusiform in shape with central nucleus. Okay, so now this is the epithelium, this is the muscularis mucosae, this is the submucosa, we will fill it, and then the layer of inner circular layer. So now I will draw the outer longitudinal layer, that is the cut section, and as I have told you, the cut section will appear of various diameters, and some of the cut section of the smooth muscle will contain, larger sections will contain the nuclei, while smaller section, because they are the part of the peripheral part of the cell, they are not containing the nucleus. So now you can see that I have drawn the nuclei. So like this, draw some flattened nuclei of the squamous epithelium, which is present in the superficial layers of stratified squamous epithelium. And then I will color the cytoplasm of the cell, and this is the muscularis mucosae. Here you can see that some of the fibers, cut section of the fibers, they contain nuclei, while others don't have the nucleus. Now here is the circular layer of the muscles, smooth muscles. So I have told you how to draw it. Just make a line like that, make a nucleus in it, and then make it spindle shape or fusiform, more in the center and less in the thick in the center, while thin at the sides. So this is how you will make the smooth muscles. And then the cut section, the longitudinal section. So make some nuclei in some of the bigger sections, leave the rest. And last layer is the adventitia. Now we will complete the diagram by making the blood vessels. The connective tissue, blood vessels, the glands, so these are the outlines of the glands we are making. also the blood vessels here in the submucosa, and then I will fill up it with the connective tissue, the cells and the fibers. Okay, now draw the glandular cells with very light hand. Columnar cells. Columnar cells are lining the mucus acini, and nucleus is flattened and lies in the periphery of the base of the cell like this. And cytoplasm is, it does not take any stain with H&E. These mucus cells, they do not take any stain with the H&E. Okay, now you can see here that I have drawn the nuclei in all the layers. The connective tissue nuclei, various connective tissue nuclei of the fibroblast, the lymphocyte, in the lamina propria, in the submucosa, the nuclei of the connective tissue, in the connective tissue between the muscle fiber, muscle bundles, in the adventitia. So adventitia is present throughout the submucosa, throughout the length of the esophagus. But the distal 1 inch of the esophagus, it is covered by serosa. So if you have to draw the serosa, you have to add up a layer of squamous epithelium here at the end. Just a layer of squamous epithelium with this connective tissue. Now we will draw the fibers of connective tissue. So this is how you will make the histological section of the esophagus. And you can see here the mucosa. So from here to here is the mucosa. This is the, from here to here is the mucosa, and this is the submucosa containing the esophageal glands. Okay, get the picture for you. Now this is the muscularis externa layer, and last one is the adventitia. And you can see the folds in the mucosa is due to the muscularis mucosae layer, and the mucus glands, they secrete, they give their secretion into the luminal surface. So we will make here a duct. We will make a duct here. Okay, so this duct is lined by epithelium. So this is opening on the surface. This is the duct. So this is how you will make the histological section of the esophagus. I will label it and then show it again. Now you can see that I have labeled the diagram of the histological section of the esophagus. So if you concentrate on this side, please try to, okay, in exams or in the paper, whenever, or in your practical copies, whenever you draw the histological sections, please write down the name of layer. In case of GIT, write down the layer, name of layers on one side, that is mucosa, submucosa, muscularis externa and adventitia, and then on the other side label the individual structures. You can see here the individual structures. I have labeled the muscles, the mucus acini, the muscularis mucosa, lamina propria, stratified squamous epithelium. So please make a neat diagram and label it neatly so that you can get maximum marks out of the question. I hope you will understand the histological structure of the esophagus by watching this video.